Alright guys, so today we are running these Yakima 3.5 Maglips, and we're wrapping these with tuna belly. We only have a foot of visibility, so we're hitting all the plug water that we can. We're wrapping these with tuna belly and putting some garlic on them. And first thing I do, I'm going to show you how to wrap it real quick. I open the snap and I take it off. That way I can work with it easily. I don't have to get, wrap around my main line by accident or whatever the case. So I take some tuna belly. Wherever I set that. Oh yeah, there's that chunk Kelly put on there. So I'm just gonna cut a nice little piece off of this. You don't need a lot. You definitely don't need a lot. That's about the width of my Maglip. Just gonna take a little chunk like that. Just like that. I like to make it symmetrical, so the plug balances properly. I don't want this thing all out of shape, so I keep it nice little rectangle like that. And it's important you don't put too much, because like I said, you want that plug to balance, right? So I'm going to take this. You don't have to go over that eye or anything. I'm just going to put a chunk like that, and I'm just going to kind of keep it in the center, okay? So you got that on there. Take your magic thread. This stuff is super staticky. Take your magic thread on there. Start wrapping. And you want fairly tight wraps too, okay? Fairly tight. And that's where you're gonna break it tight. Once you get some wraps on there, start to center it up, right? You can move it. So center that up. Come back around, come back around. And I've tested this Maglip with this size of a bait, so I know the plug fishes properly and evenly. When it's wiggling in the water, it's not too much to the right, too much to the left. So that's why I'm going with this bait size. I know it works. So get that thing nice and wrapped on there. And if you can look down it, it's pretty even looking. So what I do, I'll show you how I half hitch it here in a second. I keep it simple. So I got that thing super wrapped up. I take my 2 fingers, I wrap around twice, and then I come through this hole 2 to 3 times, okay? Those are basically just a little knot. And I just kind of open my fingers, work it into the center, pull, cinch, and break, okay? That is a clean wrap on the Maglip. And that's everything you need. Now this plug, I'm going to take a little bit of my garlic, and this stuff is strong too. Just going to take a little bit of my garlic, pour it on that meat, and I'm just going to let it sit on that meat for a good couple minutes before I fish it. And that thing's ready. So we'll go over all that plug water here in just a little bit, and the speeds in which you'll fish these. And you can fish these on anchor too. We are in a spot right now where we can literally run our plugs right back on anchor and get on some fish, but I think back bouncing plugs is the most effective way to do it. But if you're cooking food or doing whatever you're doing, taking a lunch break, running your plugs is really good. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that little tip and trick on wrapping a Maglip. These 3.5s can be wrapped just like quick fish, and you guys can get on some fish on these too, let me tell you. So stay tuned, guys. Hopefully there's some fish to be had today. Got tough conditions, but when they're around, they can be biting, even in this visibility. So subscribe. Oh my God, beautiful fish. He's a rager. Alright guys, so we are right below a rapid. As you can see, we got this perfect plug water for these Yakima Maglips to be doing their thing. Take a look. Look at this water. This is good plug water here. probably 6 feet deep. And we're just inching along the bank. If you look at the bank, we're just inching, right? Barely making our way down, keeping our gear in the strike zone, working our way to the end of this section right above the next rapid. And that's kind of what you want to do with this plug fishing. Sometimes I turn just a little bit, give it some action, but ideally you want to keep it straight. You want to keep that boat straight for the most part, unless you're doing some adjustments. But just barely moving, just barely moving. And this is, like I said, 6-7 feet of water right here. Perfect. We got about 40 feet, 45 feet out on our Maglips, and they are just working wonders. So it's a perfect plug water. Just enough to where you don't have to row too hard either, where you could just inch your way down that bank. What we have here is a nice deep 8 to 10 foot slot coming out of this shallow rapid behind me. And we got our plugs just working right down into that tail out. We're barely moving, as you guys can see on the bank right here. And these rods are just working good, man. The current slows down into this deep tail out. This is perfect water. As soon as we get done with this, a little bit further down, we're gonna be running our eggs. Let the hole rest for a couple minutes and then pull off to the side and bob our egg in this hole. This is a nice little slot here for the Chinook. So, just look at that water. Oh, I just seen a fish roll too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
Below the tail out. Fish roll at the very end of this tail out.